You're listening to BK Presents on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Hello, everyone. My name is BK International Talent Scout. I'm bringing a brand new show to you called BK Presents. 30 minutes, nonstop, your favorite in gospel music. Studio sessions, going deep into interviews with your favorite artists, producers, and their engineers. You and your concert previews and concert reviews. Get it all on bkpresents.com. Hello, everybody. This is BK International Talent Scout. We are coming live to you from Rainier Avenue Radio World Studios. We're in the podcast studios. Sometime this month, I think we're moving to a bigger space. That's what I heard. But right now on the phone lines, we got Michael Charles. And he is a part of Upper Left Strategies. I looked at your website. I was blown away. I was like, who is this guy? We tried to get you in the studio through you, the campaign manager for Grammarly, but everybody's busy. She says he has 2 little kids. He can't come in. Can we do it virtual? Absolutely, we can serve you virtual. You got to tell us what Upper Left Strategies is all about.
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to say thank you, BK, for bringing me on today and let me help represent Girmay as well as part of the Upper Left Strategies family here today. So I'm the founder of Upper Left Strategies. We started this political consulting firm in 2018 with the concept of we didn't see candidates of color being represented well by political consultants, and we said we can do better. These candidates deserve better. These communities deserve better, and we need people that are going to run authentically with their communities, leading the way, rather than kind of like whatever the white consultants were saying that people should sound and do for running for office. And we thought that if we ran people in an authentic way, they would win more. And I think we've been able to kind of prove that concept and really get out there and show people that being authentic is the most important thing in politics. And if you're going to work with candidates of color, you need to make sure that we're representing them authentically.
Man, Upper Left Strategies. I feel like I'm a part of a baseball team. Am I batting left? Am I batting right? Are we playing cricket? Man, what's going on? Okay, so who have you helped win? Can you tell us?
Yeah, so one of our first candidates was the first Vietnamese senator to the state senate in Washington State, Joe Nguyen, who's now the current director of commerce for the Washington State. We helped get elected one of the first Native American women to the state senate, and Senator Claudia Kaufman of the 47th. We were able to unseat an incumbent with who now has been serving the 11th LD for a while now, but David Hackney, a black attorney.
You unseated him.
We unseated a long-term incumbent who had been in the seat for over a decade.
He was taking up that seat too long.
Yeah, they were too long, and so David ran and won. It was beautiful.
Oh man.
So, I could go down the list. We got 10, 12 more other folks, but, you kind of get the picture. The goal is there. How do we change the system?
Oh, you changed the system. Hey, wait, can we talk about the voucher?
You want to talk about vouchers?
Talk about the voucher. Talk to my community about the voucher, what it does, and then we're going to get to your candidate for executive of King County.
Absolutely. So vouchers are a unique system that people of Seattle came up with about 5 years ago. The idea was that people were not able to donate money. People didn't have enough money. Money was taking over in politics was kind of the theory of why we needed to create a system so that more people could get involved rather than folks that had expendable cash, rich people that had money to give. How do we give normal people money? Because we all know money is important in politics because you have to advertise, you have to get your name out there, and you can't do it for free. or you can't do it very well for free. And so this was kind of becoming a reason why certain candidates wouldn't run for office. So if you're running for office in the city of Seattle, meaning you're running for Seattle City Council, you're going to run for Seattle City Attorney, Seattle Mayor, any of those races that are only in Seattle, you're able to, everybody in the city gets given $100. If you're a registered voter in the city, you get $100, but they're not actually dollars. They're like monopoly money, essentially, but they translate into real money. And everybody gets 4 $25 certificates that you can give away. And that turns into real money for campaigns, so that candidates who otherwise wouldn't have a chance to compete with the folks that have a lot of money or rich people that are running for office, now they have a fair chance. Now they have a chance to get money. Now they have a chance to compete and be competitive in these races. And it's overall been a very positive change, especially for communities that are underserved. It's been overall a very positive change.
Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing about the voucher program of Seattle. Let's get to your guy who's running for executive of King County. Now, I
Martin
know
Luther King County.
Ron Sims used to be the executive of King County. I worked with him a lot. He would do proclamation. Well, you know, Ron Sims is a cool guy. He did a lot of civil rights from Eastern Washington. Then the next guy in line, he was the executive of King County forever. He was another cool guy. But the guy you're representing grew up in the projects, well educated, worked on the Obama 208 campaign. He sits on the King County Council right now. Tell us his name, what country he's from, and why people should consider supporting him.
Great. Yeah. First of all, fantastic introduction, BK. Thank you. So Girmay Zahilay, my guy, Girmay.
Girmay.
That's how we get people to remember him. That's my guy, Girmay. So Girmay has a very fascinating American story. He was born in a refugee camp in Sudan to Ethiopian parents. When he was 1 year old, he got brought over to Washington State. He has grown up in South Seattle. He's a Franklin High School graduate, in and out of poverty, but also homelessness himself. They experienced homelessness as a family, ended up in Skyway. He spent a lot of his formative years in Skyway, went to Franklin, graduated from Franklin, and went on to Stanford University. After going to Stanford, he ended up graduating with honors and going to University of Pennsylvania, where is with another Ivy League institution, and ended up getting his law degree. Started a nonprofit for students and youth to engage with mentors and kind of, be mentored along in the process. And then worked at a major law firm, and kind of in the middle of that, we convinced him to run for South Seattle's county council seat. He ended up winning tremendously.
Wait, you gotta put a pin because I got a story.
Yeah, go for it.
County council seat. This is the craziest story. So Larry Gossett, he's a stalwart. He's been sitting on the King County Council for decades, right? He writes proclamations for me for the MLK celebration for the city of Seattle, for Festival Sinjata. You can always call him up. I've been invited over his house, he's a great guy. So Larry Gossett was there. At El Centro de La Ronda, there was a place over there where they had like a debate. I seen this young cat, man. He was up there on the podium, and Larry Gossett, man, he was, man. And then this young cat steps out on stage, hits the mic. He had a different kind of swagger. He had like an Obama swagger. And I could tell that Larry Gossett was having problems that night. I was like, what's going on? Because once you get in a city council seat or a King County council seat, if you don't mess up, you're there forever.
Yeah.
So
No, that's right.
Your guy wins that seat. I seen a picture of him being sworn in. He had his people with him. He had the young people raising their hand with him. I said, this is something different. Talk to us about the East African community actually being represented and supported by one of their own. And this guy looks like he's going to be the executive.
Oh, wow. Well, we love to hear that from you, BK. I will say, one of the things that was really important for Girmay when he ran against Larry was to be grateful and understanding and appreciative of all the work Larry had done for decades. And that's why one of the very first people Girmay let know when he was running for executive was Larry. Larry gave him his support, and that's always been a very important relationship to Girmay. And I always thought that was a special story to tell, that, Larry and Girmay are now good friends, and they talk
They're drinking
regularly, and
coffee
they're
together
close.
somewhere.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful story to tell with those two. And but about East African representation, and I think that's really a key part as we talk about a lot of the issues and things happening in South Seattle. I mean, this community has to be part of the discussion now, because as we have crime rates, things happening down there, that we're seeing sometimes a lot of these young African men are the ones that are getting involved in a lot of this kind of shenanigans. And so it's been important to have representation for that in particular. As we talk about criminal justice reform, we talk about changing the system. Well, we got to have people that look like the people we're trying to serve, right? I think that's something we all agree upon, is that representation matters. And what's been unique is that Girmay, though, doesn't see himself as just representing the East African community. I think that's what's made him really special, is that can he connect with that community because he's from there? Absolutely. But has he made it more about representing all of South Seattle? And does he do that better because he's connected to the community? I think so. Absolutely. And I think that's why when he talks about he wants a boots on the ground approach at the county, I think that speaks to our communities in South Seattle, and that we want to see the government more. We want to see people show up. Like, I shouldn't only see sheriffs or cops be the interaction with government, right? Like, we should see the people from the public health department. We should see the people from whatever economic development department. We need to be seeing these people. And I think that's really important and something that he's pushing. And that's the type of representation that he's going to bring into office once elected.
Okay. Are you ready for the hard questions?
Go for it.
Well, not too hard, because you're my guy, Michael. Upper left strategies. Man, I want to join that group. Okay. What is his view on helping to correct homelessness in Seattle?
Yeah, so one of the immediate concerns, and this is kind of the big debate between him and the other kind of like person running, is that there's a kind of a tension between, do we need more immediate housing needs or do we need more long-term? Obviously the answer is both, but like, which one do you focus on? Like, which one do the resources need to go? I mean, Girmay's been very clear that he thinks immediate housing needs need to be satisfied first. We need to stand up 22,000 units of immediate housing, meaning like low barrier. Folks need to be able to get access to this housing right now. We can't talk about building 44,000 units of housing over the next 4 or 5 years. We need housing for people that are on the streets now to go to. We need people off of the streets in a home. We can't wait for 4 years as 44,000 units come online. We need to be getting people in housing now. And I think that's kind of the big philosophical difference that's being debated between him and his main opponent of what's the answer to the housing problem? Is it lots of housing later or more housing now? And I think that Girmay is very much of we need 22,000 units of housing immediately so that people can be off the streets. And that's standing up emergency housing units, even getting people into more small, like cheaper housing, but it needs to be immediate. That's his push.
Immediate housing. I got another question about homelessness. So is he for like buying hotels or buying small housing, transitional housing units, getting people in a program so that they can transition into permanent housing?
Yes, that's exactly what he's in for. People having immediate roofs over their head. I think putting roofs over people's head is very important. Making sure that people are able to transition into permanent housing is the goal, but trying to get people to go from the street to permanent housing is a very difficult prospect. That has been kind of the housing first model folks have used for the years over the years, and it's an issue here where we have to walk and chew gum at the same time. We have to be able to build permanent housing as well as putting a lot more transitionary housing online in the meantime. So the answer is yes, he's in favor of that, but also yes to that we have to build more permanent housing as well.
Okay, let's talk about education and jobs. Because you can put people in housing, but they got to be educated to get a job, or they have to be connected with case managers to see if they're going to get SSI to pay for their housing, or they're going to have to see if they qualify for SSI. So it's not just putting people in housing, but the wraparound services. I do
Absolutely.
social work for my work, but I can't talk about that. But I understand what that's all about. So, talk to us about his view on helping people either get into jobs or start their own businesses.
Oh, that's great. Well, first of all, talking about getting people into jobs, jobs are critical. Like as we talk about, especially as we talk about youth crime or struggling with youth, like I think the first thing that people from our communities understand is these kids don't have anything to do. They don't have money. They don't have a job. Like I think that's one of the first key pieces that he's very interested in is putting together or expanding services around youth corps. I think there's been a big effort within the county to kind of like marry a lot of the green jobs that are coming up, whether they be like fixing various like park entities or getting involved in the Port of Seattle, those kind of
Hey,
jobs.
the port,
Like
that's good. That's good job.
how do we combine those and make sure that youth are getting those jobs, that youth have summer jobs, that we're hiring people that are 14 years old and up to do things during the summer. Like kids need money, kids need things to do. Like that's the answer to both of those problems. And the county has the ability to hire more interns to create summer job programs where we're actually hiring these folks. That's the kind of work that he's talking about when he says we need more boots on the ground. I forgot what your second question was, BK.
It was education, but
Education.
I want to talk about my experience when I was growing up. This is a funny story. So one of my first summer jobs, I worked for the Department of Licenses on the first floor, and uh, Mayor Bruce Harold, he wasn't the mayor back then. He was like a legislative assistant. So the person that I worked for, she would arrange for me to go up to the 11th floor. And I used to eat lunch with Bruce Harold on Fridays. He would take me to city council meetings. So he introduced me to everyone. So he was kind of like big brother, big uncle. When I went to Seattle Central Community College, I took class from Mr. Harold. I worked for his mom at the Seattle Public Library. So, man, talk to us
Wow.
about your guy creating educational spaces for young people, because now the young people on the street that are committing crimes, here's the misnomer: they are not from poor families, they're from
Mm-hmm.
affluent families that got money and they still running the streets. So what is his education piece, and how does he see changing the crime of young people in Kent and Renton and Seattle, downtown, wherever they're terrorizing the community? What is his perspective?
Yeah. Well, you know, he was born and raised in he was raised in Skyway, spent a lot of his time there, and he talks about the difference of when he lived in
Because
South
he
Seattle
actually
and
lived in the
Skyway.
projects in West Seattle. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
he knows about what it's like. So how
And
does
he talks about how when he lived in Skyway, how there were no buses to get him anywhere. He talks about how there were no community centers to get him anywhere. He talks about all these things that he's worked on while being at the county to provide these services to those folks is what's lacking is the community infrastructure, whether that be
right,
Kent, whether it be Skyway. And so while he's been on council, he has been the person that's gotten funding and led the efforts to, in conjunction with community, of course, but to create a Skyway Community Center. He also has led the efforts on over by the light rail station in Columbia City. They worked with Sound Transit to buy land so that they could actually create a youth action center right there by the Columbia City light rail station. This has been his issue because this is what he lived through growing up. Nothing is more important to Girmay than working on gun violence, working on making sure that communities that are underserved in South Seattle, Skyway, Kent, Renton, you know, you can go down the list in South King County, but these people need infrastructure. They need community infrastructure. They need access to transit. They need all the services that help kids, families like him when he was growing up be successful. Those are the kind of services and those are the kind of government services in particular that he's helping push and ensure that those are the people that government's focusing on. I think that there's a philosophical debate of what is government to serve everybody or people, or is it to serve people that are underserved and those that have less? And I think he subscribes to the mindset of government should serve those that don't have as much as others. And I think that's how he's kind of led with understanding we can't cut services. We can't cut things and hope that community gets better. We have to invest in communities. You have to put community centers. You need to put activities. You need to bring jobs. You need to actually actively bring life to communities. And that's the role of government. And that's how he operates and acts.
wow, that is such a great answer. Daniel, how many minutes do we got left on the interview? Okay, we got 4 minutes, so we got to cover a lot of ground. Michael Charles, what is next for Upper Left and how can you be supported? How can people join your team? Because we're going to win something.
Well, you know, I mean, to us, it's how do we find good people that want to lead? I think that for us, our job is to empower people to become community leaders. And whether that's, you know, you're an organization that's looking to get more political and get involved, or if we're looking to fight an issue, whether it be like reparations, for example, or something, we want to work on issues that matter to the communities that we care about. And we want to help people get elected so that those communities we care about get served better. And so to me, I'm always looking to meet people that want to run for office, especially people that think that they got no chance. Because I think those are the people that we want to help have a chance and help get ahead, because the best people to lead communities come from the communities they're wanting to serve. And if we're serious about making this place better for everybody and changing the way the world is, we need new people. We need new leaders. We need people to
New
come not from the
voices.
system. We need
New
new
voices.
voices. That's
Now,
exactly right.
let me ask you this question. Are there any women of color that you see are coming up through the ranks in community, or are there any women of color that you help get into office in the Pacific Northwest?
Yeah, particularly around women. So my wife happens to be a Port of Seattle commissioner, Toshiko Hasagawa. We worked on her race, and helped her get elected to office. The first Native woman that we helped get elected in Kent was Claudia Kaufman, who's the state senator down there now. I'm a big fan of a lot of these women that are running right now, like Erica Evans for city attorney. We're big fans of Dion Foster running for city council.
Dion Foster, Erica Evans. Now, I went to like an event downtown put on by the NAACP that was like totally cool, totally stellar. They had so much class, so much fun, and they had live music and great food. How can you not want to vote, right? Before we close, talk to my audience about the importance of voting, whether you're young, old, or you might not understand all the issues. Talk to my people the importance of their one vote.
Yeah. I mean, to just bring it back to ancient Greece really fast. I hear this.
Come on.
Plato said that, to be apathetic is to be ruled by evil men. And I think that could not be more true. And that if we stop caring about having our say in what's going on, then there are a lot of people who do care, who don't care about us, that will get into office. And I think it's just really important to understand that there is no vacuum of power. If we don't care, somebody else is caring, and that those people don't care about the issues that we care about. And I think it's just really important to understand that this is the only thing that we have equal to with people who have a lot of money, people who have a lot of influence, people who have a lot of power. We all have one vote. And I think that's really important to remind folks that when you choose not to exercise this civic duty that was fought and bled for, that people spent centuries giving us the opportunity to just have a say in who our leadership is, we owe it to our ancestors, we owe it to our families, we owe it to our communities to care. We owe it to them to have a say. So,
we got to wrap up the show, but we're going to bring you back. Hopefully, one of your candidates after August 1st will be a part of the party. Look, invite me to the big party. That's where I want to be. I want to be partying with the upper left. Hey, everybody, I got to get out of here. I spent 30 minutes with Michael Charles. We're going to bring him back maybe in September or October or November. It was a fun interview, and we'll see you next week. And check out the upper left.
You're listening to BK Presents on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Hello, everyone. My name is BK International Talent Scout. I'm bringing a brand new show to you.
Thank you, Seattle, for checking out the show with BK Presents on Rainier Avenue Radio. It's been our pleasure. But listen, we want to connect with you. Maybe you have some takeaways from the show that you would like to let us know about. You can do that in two ways. You can go on Twitter and follow us at BK Presents, or email us bkpresents@gmail.com. Once again, that's bkpresents@gmail.com. Until next time, we look forward to hearing from you again.